Springtime has hit the St. Joseph's campus. That means once we have some consecutive days of sunshine for a change, it'll be a good time to hit the links. St. Joseph's golf team already hitting the links, and our guest on Take 5 this week is St. Joseph senior Jim Ridgway. Jim, welcome to Take 5.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Have you gotten a chance to see any of the other ones?
I have got a chance to see a few. Fortunate enough, hopefully the wild card question doesn't get me at the end, and we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to break you in. First question. Since you've been here at St. Joseph's, what's been your favorite golf course to play?
That's actually, there's been some good ones, but I'd have to go with Georgetown's course. It's 4 streams. It's about 30 minutes outside D.C., and it's a great golf course, always well manicured. It's a great field, a lot of good teams that play in it, and it's a fun weekend of golf, no doubt about it.
It's probably not a cheap course to play on, too.
No,
if you're
not at all.
You're not playing for a team.
Not at all. We walk in the locker room, and actually Wilbon is a member there. Kornheiser's a member there.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, the clientele is pretty top notch. It's a great country club.
Sounds like a great place to play.
Yeah.
Second question. A couple of years ago in a tournament, you had not just one, but 2 holes in one in the same tournament, no less.
Yeah.
First one happens that first day. What are you thinking as you're seeing the ball come toward the pin?
It was actually pretty exciting because we just started. It was only about 4 holes in, so I mean, kind of getting off to a good start like that was huge. So it was spinning back towards the hole and then disappeared. And it was fortunate enough that the coach was standing there, and actually my parents had come up that day to watch and everything. So it was exciting, but still a lot of golf left. I mean, it's not one of those things that I can kind of pack it in for the day. Right. You know, got that hole in one, still got a lot of golf left to play, and kept it going solidly, which was nice.
Then, of course, obviously the next day, as it's happening again, what are you thinking? Did you even fathom that was possible?
No,
it was two in the same tournament.
Exactly right. It was pretty crazy. The craziest part is that we actually played 36 that day, so it was actually the next round, but technically the same day. So it was actually about 6 hours later in the same day because we had played a double round that day. So it was wild because after the first round I got off to a bad start in the second round, and then that happened again, and it was just, there were so many highs and lows of the round and everything. So to have a second hole in one, I mean, obviously we were talking about it later that night and been talking about it for the last 3 years. I mean, the odds of it are ridiculous, but I mean, just as far as kind of having my parents there and so forth, it was pretty cool.
I was going to say, you're talking to someone who has perhaps the worst slice in the history of golf. So 2 holes in one for somebody like me would be like winning the lottery twice. So congratulations again on that.
Thank you.
Next question. We've had the opportunity to ask some of our other student athletes here at St. Joseph's if they had the opportunity to go to dinner with 3 people or have them over for dinner, who would they be? Well, we're gonna turn this into a little golf twist here. If you could choose your dream foursome, who would the other 3 be, and why?
If I could have my dream foursome, I would probably have to put Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus in there, just for as far as the golf part of it. I mean, 2 of the greatest players that by far have ever played the game. I mean, obviously there's some other, Sam Steen, Ben Hogan, you can kind of toss in there, but for what those 2 have done for the game in the last 50 years is unbelievable. And to complete the foursome would have to be my dad. I mean, it would be great to share that moment with him. And I mean, he's the one that got me into the game and kind of started me up playing. So it would be awesome to share something like that with him. And I think it just would be an unbelievable experience.
Has he ever hit 2 holes?
He's actually been playing. He played college golf as well, and has been playing for about 35 years now, and doesn't have a single hole in one. And I was fortunate enough to have 2 in the same day. So he was definitely a little jealous, but happy to get to see it with his own eyes.
You rib him about that at all?
A little bit, every once in a while, but not too much anymore. Just because I got out of that phase of kind of once it got over the hump of beating him, then it became more kind of consistent. So I don't rag on him too much because he still helps. He knows my game better than I know my game, so he definitely helps me out and so forth. So don't razz him too much.
Well, that foursome, you talk about Tiger Woods. Obviously, we just had the Masters not too long ago. A guy, basically a virtual unknown named Charles Schwartzel, comes out of the pack and ends up winning his first Masters. What do you think about that as somebody who watches golf? when a guy who's a virtual unknown just kind of rises to the occasion. Do you think that, is it good for the sport, or is it better to see a guy like Tiger Woods winning most of the time?
No, yeah, I think it is. Obviously, a lot of the fans do watch because of players like Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, but seeing a player like that, like a Charles Schwartzel, win, obviously I knew who he was beforehand. I mean, I watched a lot of golf, saw him play on the European Tour a few times. It is a good thing for the sport. I mean, obviously, a lot of the fans want to see Tiger win and so forth, and want to see him get off the snide and kind of get back to playing good golf. But I think it is a good thing for the sport, just showing how many just unbelievably talented golfers there are out there.
Follow up to what you just said about Tiger, is this the performance that you think helped him kind of get off the schneid and get back to playing the golf that everybody knows that he's capable of playing?
I think so. I mean, obviously he's been struggling the last couple of years, I mean, on and off the course, but this weekend, I mean, he played some very good golf on Sunday, and after that front nine on Sunday, I thought, obviously, when he made the turn and I think he was tied or one back of the lead, I mean, I thought he was just going to run away with it, and a few putts didn't fall on the back nine, but I think it was the confidence that he needed kind of going forward for the next 3 majors the rest of the year. So hopefully it does help him, and I'd like to see him back in the winner's circle again. It's just good for the game of golf, I think, as far as just him being up there and in competition each week.
Just catapult him back.
Yeah, exactly right.
Now, he has a beautiful swing. Charles Barkley is a guy that doesn't necessarily have the greatest swing in the history of golf. He might even be the worst swing in the history of the game. Made us think, who on your team, out of your teammates, has the ugliest swing?
Oh man, there's so many to choose from. My swing is obviously not the best in the world by any means, but actually...
You just covered yourself very well there. Good job.
Our number 2 kid, Josh Webb, who's a senior with me, one of my roommates, awful golf swing. I mean, just an awful, awful golf swing, but he gets it done. I mean, he's a great player, great short game, real solid, and it's one of those things that, I mean, you look at the guys on the Pro Tour. I mean, everybody's got a different swing day in and day out. I mean, you look at guys like Jim Furyk and Kenny Perry and those type of guys that, I mean, the swings just look awful. And Josh has a waggle on his swing. He's shaking all over the place and so forth. Excuse me, but just a great player. I mean, as long as you kind of get it done, I guess it doesn't matter how it looks.
As long as you get it close, right?
Exactly right.
Just get close to that pin and then have a decent short game.
Yep.
You'll be all
get
right.
it done. Exactly right.
Well, we're pleased with your short game here, surviving on Take 5, and we thank you for stopping by, Jim.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
That's senior Jim Ridgway here on another edition of Take 5. Might have a future on the Golf Channel as an analyst. You hear some of that analysis, and Jim, just another one of our athletes that joins us every week here on Take 5 on St. Joseph's All Access. I'm Matt Martucci, and as always, we will see you next week, Hawk fans.